Welcome to Democratic Television, a program of the Santa Clara County Democratic Party that brings insights, perspectives, and attitudes of our always thoughtful Democratic guests. Today we're joined by Forrest Williams, a candidate for the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, and Forrest, someone who's had a long career in public life and private life, and it's great to have you on Democratic Television.
Well, I'm pleased to be here, Steve.
Now, before we start talking about the supervisorial race, let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Tell us a little bit about the background of Forrest Williams.
Well, thank you, Steve. I grew up in a rural town in York, Alabama, very small town. It was in the 1937s. It was very diminutive in terms of its ability to provide for good quality education for me. But my parents were very serious about education. As a child, they instilled in us the need to get an education, the need to pursue, the need to be diligent in all of the efforts that you put forth, and you would realize the American dream. I was confused at that because it was a segregated society, and it did not provide all of the things that the Constitution assured of us as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
But my parents believed in the country. They believed that eventually one day that I would be able to achieve the things that I wanted to in life. They said, be prepared, be ready.
And that's where education comes in as the vehicle to get you prepared.
That's correct. I graduated as valedictorian from my high school, but it was a very small high school. There was only about 6 of us in the class, in the high school class. But the parents and the teachers were supportive of the education to push us to make sure that we were ready to take on the challenges of the society once those things became available to us.
Oh, that sounds great. Tell me, were there any influences on you when you were a boy growing up? Anything that sticks in your mind now that helped you become the Forrest Williams that you are today?
Yes. I remember there was a gentleman in my town who drove a utility truck. It was a bright yellow utility truck, and he was always dressed nice. And on the side of his truck was a emblem of a man made out of electrical bolts of lightning and a hard hat. And I was curious. At about 13 years of age, I decided to go see him and ask him, what did he do? And he explained to me that he was an electrical engineer and that you have to be very smart to be an electrical engineer. And he discussed with me all of the difficulties and all of the things that one had to do, knowing that the educational system that I was in was not adequate to prepare one to become an electrical engineer.
The system for African Americans.
Yes, it was separate, it wasn't equal, but we studied. My parents said, that's not an excuse. Excuse for you is to learn. Whatever is provided for you and whatever system is provided, you learn. And then when you have the opportunity to approach any other subject matter, you will have the tools necessary. So after I met with him, I went home and I talked to my mom because I was somewhat dashed at his discussion about what was needed. She told me, if you want to achieve it, then you can achieve it. You must study and put forth the work to achieve it. At that point in my life, I said, I will be an electrical engineer.
At the age of 13?
At the age of 13. My parents were very supportive. And based on that and the understanding, I said, I will do it because of the encouragement that was given to me by my parents. And there was one teacher, her name was Mrs. Dial. She's passed now, but she said, Forrest, education is like an investment. It will pay great dividends in the future. So get your education now. And that's how I started out to be an electrical engineer.
So where did you go to college? How did that work out? Were you the valedictorian there as well?
No, I wasn't a valedictorian there, but I did very well. I bachelor's degree at Indiana Institute of Technology, master's from Louisiana State University, and my DE degree from Santa Clara. And those degrees were there to help me to provide the skills for me to pursue my dream of being an electrical engineer. And I wanted to go back to my hometown after I got my degrees and meet the gentleman who told me about being an electrical engineer, but I was never able to find him because I wanted to tell him that he was one of the greatest inspirations to me in terms of my pursuit, because he set the standard high. And my mom always told us, push the standard, be the best that you can be. And so those are the things that help form my life in terms of my becoming an electrical engineer. And I love it. It's been exciting for me. I came to work here in the Valley for IBM, work in the storage development in South San Jose. We developed the first direct access storage device right here in San Jose. It revolutionized the industry, and I was a part of that.
Oh, wow. And
the contributions that we made to the Valley, the growth, it was phenomenal, and it was an exciting career. And I really, really appreciate the opportunity of having been here and being ready to take on that challenge.
Well, so what did you do as an electrical engineer? Because I know you had a number of positions. You were a supervisor and worked with different folks.
Right. Well, in my job, I was a development engineer for the purpose of storage management. In other words, we had to provide the algorithms and the programs that access data on a disk that's spinning at maybe 3,500 RPMs, and you've got to go on to that disk, find the data, get that data back up to the storage and the system where it could use that data. And so I was in the development end of it, and we devised storage products for the industry, for large banks, large institutions, government operations, where they could use it to store data, which allowed them to direct access it. They didn't have to have these punch cards and things like that anymore, because they had it now. They could load the programs on it, and that is the same way on your PC today, and on all of those devices where you can store data and retrieve it online rather than carrying a deck of cards around.
Boy, I bet that engineer in rural Alabama would be surprised.
Oh, yes. But the excitement of it all is that you are ready and always willing to improve oneself, study additional, keep going, get an education to stay with the technology, because technology changes so fast.
Yeah.
And so being in the Valley, I worked on my DE degree at Santa Clara to stay abreast with all the innovation and all the technology that was going on here in the Valley. And it served well. I had the opportunity to be the representative for IBM in Japan. And we have the development responsibility, but the product manufacturing for Asia Pacific was in Japan. And I was appointed as the consultant there to look after our needs in Japan. And of course, while there, I learned the language and the culture. And when I came back from my assignment, the Japanese asked me to be their representative here in San Jose to look after their technical needs, their marketing needs, and the schedules for product delivery. So that was exciting for me to be ready and also to perform at a level that would be very helpful to both the IBM Corporation internationally, not just for San Jose alone.
Well, yeah, especially picking up another language,
Yes.
Japanese,
Yes.
and being able to communicate. And
Right.
Now, does your wife Dorothy have that language skill too? Do you speak Japanese at home?
She speaks some, not. She speaks it to the level that she could shop anywhere in any stores in Japan. So she has that level, and we enjoy going. We have a sister city relationship. When I was on the city council with Okayama, Japan, and I happened to be the delegate to go and be the person to represent the city of San Jose on an exchange. And when they came from Japan to San Jose, I had the opportunity to welcome the congregation from Japan here. was over 300 people, and second time they brought a 747 into San Jose, and I greeted all of them, and then I addressed them in Japanese. And that was, they were surprised and pleased that we showed our friendship and showed our relationship with them.
That sounds great. Now, I don't want to overlook the fact that you served for many years on the school board, too.
Yes.
So tell us what caused you to want to get involved in giving back to the community, public service?
Well, it goes back to my engineering career. When we moved to San Jose, there were not very many African Americans here, and there were not very many in professional roles in the school system. So when we moved in and talked to other neighbors, that they were concerned because we had young children. My son was only 6 months old when I moved here.
Oh.
And we wanted to create an environment for him to be free to pursue his dreams, to pursue the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, independent of his color of his skin, but rather by his character and what he could perform and what he could do. So we went to the school district, some parents and I, and we sat down with them and said, we would like to have you have teachers in the system that mostly align so that my children can see them, that those are roles and things that they could achieve to be if they wanted to. And so I was after we worked with them, we volunteered to help them recruit African American teachers to come to the Oak Grove School District. And some of those teachers are still there. And it was great in terms of our working. We saw a problem. We didn't go complain about it. We volunteered to help. And through that relationship with the school district, I was asked to run for the school board. And so I reluctantly said yes because I had a professional career. And I know I had to give time. But the company, I talked it over with my manager and talked it over with IBM, and they said, okay, as long as you get your work done, don't impact that work, but you can participate. And they encouraged us to participate in the community, and that's how I became a school board member.
Oh, I see.
And I was there for 12 years, supporting. We built the system, essentially, the Oak Grove School District, because there weren't many people living in the area at the time. It was just growing up. And so as people move in, more children came, and we expanded the system. There was over 21 schools we built.
Wow.
And it was exciting because I still see those children now that have gone through the system. They've been to MIT, CIT, Berkeley, Yale,
so
and they've come back. Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
You have a very supportive spouse and your wife, Dorothy. You know, you've got to have that, right? You've got to have that base so that you can go out with confidence knowing that there's that support.
Yes. Dorothy is the love of my life. We've been married 46 years. We just celebrated our 46th anniversary on August 8th, 2010. I would marry her again, given the opportunity. The question is, would she marry me? And I've heard her tell me she would.
Oh.
And our family is a great family. We love each other. We care for each other. And she's supporting me. She's helping in the campaign office. She's mailing and she's writing letters and making phone calls and chiding me to be on time and so forth. So
she's a beautiful woman.
She is. I was blessed.
Yes. Yeah. So let's go back to your. You were on the Oak Grove School Board for 12 years, and then somehow you got a bug in you to run for the San Jose City Council. You ran.
Right.
You won.
Well, prior to that, I was a planning commissioner.
Oh, you
I was
served
appointed. I was appointed to the planning commissioner. That was after I came back from Japan on my assignment in Japan, and there was a vacancy, and I applied, and it was a humbling experience because you're interviewed right out in the public, and you have to answer the questions, and they make a decision right there in the public. But it was excellent for me because I began to learn the land use and understand how the city was going to grow, the general planning, and the issues that came before us. And we were there to intercede for the public, for the people in the community, to be their voice to the council. And after the 8 years of planning commissioner, I then was asked to run for city council by Charlotte Powers.
Oh.
She was one of my mentors early on. I was a school board member. She was a teacher, and then she became a school board member and City College. And then I followed her, helped with her campaign, and so forth. And we were just mutually supported each other. And then when the time came for her to term out, she consulted me about running because she felt that my experience in the community was there for people in the community to know and understand and would appreciate. And so they did.
Well, I want to talk to you about the Board of Supes, but before we leave the city of San Jose, what are some of the achievements that you feel most proud of that you were able to accomplish?
Well, number one, as you know, the city depends on economic development to support all of the various services that we have. And I was chair of the Economic Development Committee. That is encouraging industry to come to San Jose to live and thrive and move forward in the city of San Jose. One notable incident was that when eBay was thinking about moving out of the city of San Jose. And so we said we need to visit them and find out what the concerns are and see what we need to do to keep them here, because we want them to be here with us and grow. And there's Brocade, there are other companies that are in the city where we have interceded with them and encouraged them to come to San Jose, and they've made those decisions to be there. And that's a part of my experience in industry, knowing what it is that we need to do in order to satisfy the needs of the corporation so they will be here. They create jobs, the economic opportunities for people to grow here and be profitable, and for the employees to meet their dreams and achieve their dreams by having those industries here. The other thing that I'm very, very proud of is the fact that we were the first city to put up $3 million for the Children Health Care Initiative. In the year 2000, when the county said it was going to insure the uninsured children in the county. So they have health insurance so that they could perform better in school, so that they could be healthy.
Sure.
And we could be healthy as a community. And that's one of the missions of the county, is to look for a prosperous community, a healthy community, and provide all of the things necessary for us to plan for the future. And children are our future. And so they need to be healthy. They need to understand when they go to school to be healthy and achieve and become a part of society. So that was really significant. And I'm going to be supporting, or I do support, Measure A.
Measure A.
Yes, right, with the health
Yes
aid.
on A.
Yes on A, yes, so that we can continue. The dollars in the Health and Neighborhood Venture Fund is diminishing. So it's going to run out, so we need to pick that up so that we can help our children.
And as I understand it, I think that would cost $29 a year for a family to bring that extensive coverage to our future, our children.
Yeah, the children are important, and they really should be our focus, number one. So when my children were born, I have two. I have a son and a daughter. Both are engineers, but I didn't twist their arms. We didn't twist their arms for them to be engineers. We just suggested that they pick a career that was a challenging career, that they look at what the demand was going to be when they finished college, and they chose those independently of us. And but I'm very proud of them.
Well, good.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the issues that you would face as a Board of Supervisor.
Right.
What's there for you? Why is that something that you think is important to fulfill?
Well, let me start out with the mission of the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah.
It's their job to plan for the needs of a community, a dynamic community, changing all the time, to provide quality health care for the individuals who cannot afford quality health care, and to make it a safe and prosperous environment for all the residents of Santa Clara County. Now, the budget for the county is around almost $4 billion. In the 2010 budget cycle, the income is around 3.9 billion.
Yeah.
But the expenditures that are there are about $4 billion. So we've got a slight of about almost $200 million deficit right now that the county has got to over the year to fill in the additional dollars that we need to deliver all of the services that we need. There are over 64 programs that are provided in the county to help meet the needs, the diverse needs of all the residents of Santa Clara County. There's abuse prevention, there's domestic violence prevention, there's health, there's the jails, there's the juvenile justice system, there's the sheriff, law enforcement. I mean, there's a whole list of these things that are necessary for the county to provide for the people. I feel strongly with my background and my education that I can deliver on those, because I've dealt with the impossible. At IBM, we always dealt on that realm. It didn't exist, and we made it be. As an example, your cell phone today, you can take photographs with it, you can do your PDA, and you can look at all the events, connect to your computer and all that. And the reason you can do that is storage, the ability to store information and programs, right? So that was not possible at the time that I was there. And so we, through development, so I have that experience of being able to take problems that impossible in a sense.
No precedent.
Right. And then look at the analysis. Always analyze, always get the facts of the matter, and then attack the problem.
So you're suggesting that because you were on the school board for so many years, the city council, the planning commission, and your whole private sector experience, that you'd be able to deal with a declining revenue stream to provide all these services.
Right. And my approach to that is looking at jobs. Number one priority is economic development. You need to turn the system around. As we know, the government has taken more and more money from us. And in other words, when I say the government, I mean the federal government, the state government, has taken dollars away from us. And so we have, and then when you take those dollars away, and because the economy is not there for them, then the demand for the need increases.
Yeah.
So it's a dilemma. So what we need to do at the county is create opportunity to create jobs so that the revenue that we generate comes back into taking care of the increased demand and increased needs. We've got to be efficient. We've got to be innovative. We've got to be creative in terms of how we approach the system and how we deliver the services, even with less resources. But things I want to look at, number one, solar energy is an example. If we apply solar energy to the county and use some of the facilities that's available to us, then we can generate energy and put it on the grid. We get paid for the grid, we reduce our energy costs, so those dollars can go back into the general fund to help us with that. Valley Medical is an example. We have one of the best hospital and medical care systems in the world. And so those systems now, they're not like an HMO, like Kaiser in a sense. I mean, we're not at that level yet. So we can create jobs, be marketable, have people who get a competitive service, medical service, they can buy the service that we provide. So that means we create jobs, we create the needs, and then those dollars that we get, we put that back into the system. So it almost becomes self-sustaining in terms of dollars coming in and backing up those dollars that we lose when the federal government comes into play.
Well, Forrest, you're not going to be able to do any of this unless we get you elected. Do you have some strong supporters that have endorsed you?
Yes, I do. I'm pleased to say that I have the endorsement of Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren and Congressman Mike Honda. I mean, they have been there for me to help me deliver in the city of San Jose, and they are there this time. I also have the endorsement of Senator Elaine Alquist and Senator Joe Simitian. And I also have the endorsement of the Assemblyman Joe Cotto, Assemblyman Ira Ruskin, Assemblyman Jim Bell, Assemblyman
Bill Monty,
all of those have supported me. and also have the endorsement of Congressman McNerney.
Oh, Jerry
Yeah,
McNerney.
right, Jerry.
So
Right,
down there in Morgan
right,
Hill.
exactly, because they cover that. I've worked with him. I've supported him in terms of his efforts in South County, and I work with South County I was a member of the VTA board and support them from the point of view of 101 widening, 152 crossover, a number of things that I've done work in the county. I'm not starting to do work. I'm already working in the county.
Forrest, if someone wants to help you with the campaign, do you have a phone number? Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. My phone number is area code 408-281-8687. Now, to get to me personally, you can get me on my cell phone. It's 408-210-9556.
Great.
And my website is www.forrestwilliams.com.
All right. Well, Forrest, thank you very much for joining us on Democratic Television.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's been my pleasure. I want to be the supervisor, and I really want to serve. That's my primary objective, is to serve. I have the skills. I've demonstrated them. If the world is there for you to see it, and
Great.
I will carry on as a supervisor. I'll be the best one the county ever had.
Sounds like it. Thanks for watching Democratic Television. Give us a call at 408-445-9500 or visit our website, www.sbcet.org.